made it to Harlem. I still have a mile and a half more to go. This is crazy. 7 miles, 7.5 miles. Oh my God. Never question what your body can do. I know like I'm on a crazy endorphin high right now, but hot damn. I'm like literally fighting back tears because I really didn't think I was gonna make it. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to have you guys watch another video. If you are new, my name is Lisette. I live in New York City and I happen to win the New York City Marathons lottery. So I will be running 26.2 miles this November. So yeah, I'm really excited. But before we dive into it, I definitely wanted to give a huge shout out to my husband and his incredible space called Uptown Shots. I know I've mentioned them in my previous videos, but yeah, it's super cool, and he like helped me, of course, with the lighting. He's actually behind the camera working on my audio. So yeah, I'm just super appreciative and grateful for him. I really wanted to create this YouTube channel and learn all this production stuff on my own, but the fact that he has been so proactive in helping me create awesome content means the world to me. So if you are a New York based social media content creator, photographer, videographer, and need somewhere to shoot, you guys definitely have to check out Uptown Shots. I will include a website in the description box below. But let's just jump into the video. So like I do every single video, I will recap where I am this week with my running and the training schedule. I will chat a little bit about I try to share like fun facts and like funny things I learned about running, so I'll talk about that, and then I also talk about who I'm gonna celebrate this week and who I honored in this Saturday's long run, which is today because today is Saturday. But first, let's talk about this week's run. So first, if I look a little tired, it's because I am. I ran 9 miles today, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have to talk about the rest of the week. So this week is the end of 4 weeks of month 1 of training. So technically I should have run 16 runs because it's 4 runs per week, 4 weeks, 16 runs. But to date, I have missed 2 runs, so I've only run 14 times. At the end of the day, I've told myself I'm no longer gonna beat myself up when I miss a run, but at the same time, I have to hold myself accountable to not allow them to become common day occurrence. The reason I need flexibility and not beating myself up is that at the end of the day, the runs I have missed have been the short little baby runs. I have yet to miss a Saturday run. But the nature of my business is that it does require me to travel. And between now and August, I have business trips, pretty much either business or personal trips between now and then. So I need to learn to adjust and create time so I can rest and run. And I also told myself that as of after my last trip in August, I am not traveling September, October. Even if a client's like, I need you to travel, like I literally gonna have to have the tough conversation being like, I can't. I need the last 2 months before the marathon to solely dedicate to training and to make sure that my body is in tip top shape, which is gonna mean that like my eating is gonna be different. Like probably starting September, I'm gonna start cutting out all alcohol because it does slow you down. So the last 2 months are gonna be real stressful. But anyways, going back to this week, I did travel this week for work. So this week's schedule should have been 3 miles Tuesday, 4 miles Wednesday, 3 miles Thursday. As always, rest Monday, rest Friday, long run Saturday. But since I knew I was traveling and I was leaving Monday night and I knew Tuesday was going to be the hardest day of my trip, I decided not to rest on Monday. So I ran 3 miles on Monday, took the trip, rested on Tuesday. I had the intention of running on Wednesday, but that didn't happen because I was just exhausted. I really didn't sleep the night before. And then when I got back to New York Wednesday night, I was like, okay, just wake up. No matter what time you wake up, just go and run. But honestly, I was exhausted. I mean, if there's one thing I have learned about this journey is to listen to your body. I also can't put myself in a position, because this is a long journey, to allow myself to get injured or just run when I don't have like 110% of me. So I also knew that Friday was supposed to be my rest day, but I was not gonna take another rest day. I had to make up for lost mileage. So I ran the 3 miles on Friday. So technically I missed 1 run by not running before. And today I did the longest run of 9 miles since the half marathon, because all the other races that I did before was either a 10K, which was 6 miles, or a 5K, which is only 3 miles. So Lord, did I think that I was not gonna make it, and I did, and I will talk about that a little later in the video, but oh my God, like, and that's why I'm like, I'm so tired and I can't believe it. And like, let's just say that like running the 9 miles, I'm already at 955 calories burned. I will do a whole other video talking about the joys of running, because the joys of running allow you to carb load. And if there's something that you will learn from me, is that I love bread, and I love bread at every meal, and I love carbs, and I love pasta. And yes, and when your body is running those long distances, your body needs a lot of carbs and a lot of sugar. So that's that. So definitely, I will save that for another video, because I will probably have like a whole buffet of bagels in front of me as I do that video. But yeah, so now that I completed month 1, my whole focus for month 1 was to just get acclimated to running again. As I mentioned in other videos, I had taken about like 5 months off from just working out, period. So I just wanted to make sure that I was, one, just getting used to running again, but also getting adjusted to an entirely new schedule. Like basically, now I have to force a new habit into my life. So month 1 was just running the miles, no matter how long it took me to run them, no matter the pace. But one thing I always told myself is, you run it slow or fast, but you never stop, right? That's the only way, at least for me personally, that I think will build endurance. Now I will transition into month 2 and start focusing a little bit more on speed. So right now I'm averaging like an 11-minute mile. I want to shave off 30 seconds. So that is literally going to be my month 2 focus. The great thing about my training schedule is that like now I will repeat the first 4 weeks cadence again for the next 4 weeks. So now I get to run like shorter distances in a way that will allow me to work on speed. One of the things I started this month that will carry over into month 2 is that I started yesterday. I got my first sports massage for runners. And it's really important, because at the end of the day, doing these runs, whether it's short or long, your legs take a huge toll and your muscles start to cramp. You get lactic acid buildup, which is why runners are constantly foam rolling. Stretches are super important to keep your muscles loose and they don't tighten up. And you do like the little muscle recovery sticks that I constantly do. The massages are great because it kind of takes that concept into like a next level by making sure that your muscles are super duper loose, and it breaks down to like a next level, like any of those like knots / lactic acid. So I got my first massage yesterday with a woman who specializes in sports massages, and I spoke to her, and I will definitely do a video on the art of massages for runners, and she already said that she'll come on camera and all that stuff, so that should be really fun. One of the things that she told me that honestly I didn't even think about is that when she was actually massaging my legs yesterday, she like went super like ham on my glutes, aka my butt, and she's like, girl, she's like, you're so tense. And I'm like, well, I never even thought about like massaging my butt or like foam rolling my butt. She's like, I had so many knots, like I literally feel like I have like the biggest soreness and probably bruises, because I'm like, you do whatever you gotta do to like soften that area. So yeah, I'm excited about that, obviously, because at the end of the day, massages feel really good, but they also cost money, so I don't know how often. For sure, I'm gonna try to get them once a month, or at least every 6 weeks. So that's that. But talking about other unique things that you have to do as a runner, well, not so much that you have to do, but is a side effect of running, and it's probably one of the best side effects of running, which is my brother told me in the very beginning. He's like, wait till you catch the famous runner's high. And I did not understand what that meant until I felt it for the first time. And I felt it for the first time, I think, on my first like 6-mile run when I was training for the half. You literally feel like you are like on a high that you don't know how to describe. Essentially, the runner's high is like an outpouring of endorphins that happens obviously when you work out. But I have worked out a majority of my life. Like cheerleading, I worked out like crazy, doing strength training, taking kickboxing classes here, but like I have never felt anything like that until I started running. And like the runner's high is like very unique. I will also include a couple articles about the runner's high, down below, because it is really fascinating. Like for me, I know exactly, and in the article it says it, and I was like, oh my God, okay, I don't feel crazy. I know exactly when the endorphins are like pouring out into my body. And it's always, and literally always happens now at this point between like mile like 3 and 4. And as soon as it like happens, I know at that moment, I don't even care how much longer I have to run, I will get through it. I don't know how to describe it besides it feeling like this like outer body experience where you are on a literal high of emotion, where you feel unstoppable. You feel like incredibly happy. For me, it's like I get so happy that I cry. When I have like these long distance runs, like I cry out of happiness. Whoever like watches me like run probably thinks that like, I don't know, I'm like a girl who just like broke up with someone and is like probably crying because I'm trying to get over them, but it's like such a literal like happy cry. At the end of the day, it's so awesome. The article also says that like every runner experiences the high differently. So for me, it just feels like as intense as I described, and even better, and in ways that I can't put into words. Some people don't feel it as intensely, and then some people feel the high so intensely that like they equate it to the feeling of having an orgasm. Obviously, I feel like that's a bit of an exageración, but again, it's super cool, it's super unique. I remember my brother talking about the runner's high and that it's super addicting, and it's true. I think a big reason why I was not that scared about today's run was like, all right, once the endorphins kick in and I like get that high, like I'll be good. And after like you stop running, like another surge of endorphins like kind of kick in, where I am probably like the most obnoxious person because I'm talking nonstop. Even when I was taking a shower, I was like dancing, but like this uncontrollable like dancing with music. And then I remember like I was showering, I was like, wow, I'm like, this is ridiculous. But like, yeah, it just makes you feel awesome. I say to anyone who wants to try out running and is nervous about it, just know that like, just start running and see if you like get it. And again, everyone kind of gets the high at a different point. But when you get it, it is literally the most incredible thing, which is like the best part about all of this. I'm also still coming down here because it also does last a while. Like I always like feel it now that I'll start doing these longer runs. But when I was like training for the half, it was like I was on a constant high. And like funny story about the runner's high, like after I had finished the half marathon, we have like a family group chat. So was like talking, like texting with my brother, and my brother goes, Lance, make sure you get all of Lisi's like credit cards and hide them because she's gonna go and sign up for more races. And you know, like she's just gonna get super addicted because that's what happened to me. Like after I ran like my first half or marathon, I just like started signing up for everything. And then like my husband, like he doesn't care. He's not gonna like take away my credit cards or whatever. But literally the next day after the half marathon, I went into New York Roadrunners and I signed up for like the Queens 10K, the Harlem 5K, and like I think something else that I had to like drop out because like I had an upcoming trip. But it was true. Like I literally signed up for it because I felt unstoppable. I'm like, I can do this. I can do all of these races. But yeah, so that's that. So I definitely, you guys, check out what the runner's high is because it's really funny. Not really funny, it's just like a good side effect. And to wrap up the video, the person that I dedicated my run to today was actually me. I know that sounds probably like weird and selfish, but I wanted to take a moment to like reflect and remember that at the end of the day, this entire process and journey was for me. I also wanted to celebrate the fact that like I am so proud that I was able to conquer those 9 miles today, and I ran them in 1 hour and 40 minutes, which is an 11-minute mile. And like just be proud of like my body. Like I think as women, we are so unnecessarily hard on ourselves. Like, oh, we gained a pound, my arm is too flabby. Like who cares? Like who cares what people think? Because as women, our bodies are capable of incredible things, like just from a scientific aspect, like we create life. And I think when you go through a journey where you are pushing yourself, again, like I was moderately athletic growing up, like yeah, I did cheerleading, gymnastics, and yes, that in itself is an amazing feat, and I did it for a very long time competitively at the collegiate level and all that stuff. But also when I stopped, I remained active, but it's not like I was an athlete. Like I literally like just also I've never been a runner. So I also did not understand the implications of what running meant to my body and how my body would be affected by it. So I wanted today's run, because it was the longest run of this training schedule, I just wanted to remind myself that, girl, you got this. And even though it's just 9 miles, those 9 miles are gonna translate to 18 miles soon and 20 miles soon. And just remember, at the end of the day, this journey is also to help me understand what other levels I can take my body, but also my mind too. Because a big part about all of this is getting out of my own head and always taking out the words I can't out of my vocabulary and my mentality. And today, when I was waking up, I was like, oh my God, like 9 miles, like really? And I remember being in the lift on the way down, because obviously I was not gonna like commute on the train and like get tired by like doing the commute on the subway. So I was like, I'm just gonna take a cab down to Pier 25 and run from Pier 25, which is basically the World Trade Center, which is like basically the tip of Manhattan, and run all the way up the West Side Highway back to Harlem, back home. And I just remember being like already getting in my head, and I was like, no, you got this. And I flicked on Instagram stories, and I remember just being like, I don't know where the shift happens, where I go from terrified to happy, but I'm gonna kill these 9 miles. And I didn't. I was scared. I really thought that I was gonna get really tired, or I thought my knee would start swelling up like halfway through and it would make me feel some kind of way. And then I remember hitting like mile 7.5, and I put it on Instagram and I put it at the beginning of this video, and I was really overcome with like emotion. And that was honestly a big part of the runner's high, because I feel it super like extra, where I started crying because I really didn't think that like my body, I knew my mind could get me there, but I just didn't think my body could. And then at that moment, I was also proud, because I also reminded myself that I've been committed to this. Yes, I missed 2 runs in the span of like 16 runs, but I've been committed. I shifted my schedule. I put times in to make sure that like I protected like sleep and eating right-ish, because eating right for me in this is just eating as many carbs as possible. But yeah, I wanted to celebrate me, and I say all of this for everyone watching, is to always to take a moment to celebrate you, because at the end of the day, all of your successes may come from like a big support system, as we all have, but at the end of the day, you are responsible and you put in the proper support in place to make sure that whatever you want to achieve is possible. So celebrate all of your wins and celebrate them for yourself. It's not a selfish thing, it's just taking a moment to reflect that each of you are all badasses in your own right, and I just wanted to take today to celebrate me and for being proud of getting to where I am right now and completing month 1. But Lord, here we go for month 2, because who knows what these videos are gonna start to look like as these runs get longer. So that's that. I hope all of you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I don't have more to say. I honestly feel kind of exhausted. But yeah, I'm really thankful for everyone's support. Oh, and sorry that I keep looking down. I actually created like a little outline of talking points so I wouldn't go off into tangents. But yeah, I'm really appreciative for everyone who like has reached out and like just like expressed support. For me, that like means a lot, because I don't do any of this for any sort of validation. I'm really doing it to like reach impossible goals or do things that seem impossible. But when people kind of support you even from a distance, it will say it really touches me, and I really appreciate it. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. And yeah, next week will hopefully be a better week, because next week I only have to run 5 miles, but I'm gonna run them fast, and that is a promise to myself. So bye guys, I hope everyone has a fantastic week.